What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the episode 5 of the Laugh and Death podcast. We have Alex again.
What up?
And David as well.
Oi!
Oi, cunt.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
cunt.
No more prick. Oi, cunt.
All right, make sure to check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/laughanddeath, Instagram at Laugh and Death Podcast, Twitter at Laugh and Death, and now we're on iTunes and the Google Play Store under the Laugh and Death podcast.
Check it out.
How are you guys doing today?
Good, but this bastard over here has us eating salads.
Hey, man, you got to change it up. I mean, got to have a diet at some point. You can't just be eating fast food all the time, man.
What, I look like a horse?
You getting there, dog.
Hey, dude.
You getting there.
Fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, yeah. I feel like I should be eating healthier. So thanks for that, I guess, you bitch.
that silent hook. Like, hey, guys, I brought my own fucking food, right? God damn.
Oh, we're going to get good pizza. Oh.
I brought my meal prep.
Oh.
Who does that?
What? One, I'm broke. Two, I had this chicken in my freezer. I had to cook it. Because if not, it was going to go bad.
You didn't have to.
I had to. I had to.
Yeah, you could have cooked it, but you didn't have to bring it to my house.
Why'd I said I'm broke. I had money. I can't go buy stuff.
Yeah, but we eat like community food, like pizza.
Community food.
Yeah.
Pizza's bad for me.
Like
No,
we all
but
share.
that's good though, because I've been wanting to go on a diet or something, and I feel like if I'm left to my own devices of having to do it, I won't do it. I have to see somebody else do it and be like, yeah, I should probably do that.
I hadn't been doing it for a while though. Let me tell you that. Like, there was that streak where 4 days in a row where we had pizza at work
Oh, yeah.
for lunch. It was so bad, dude. And every time afterwards, I felt horrible because of how bad it is. Like,
What was it? Little Sisters?
Little Scissors, dude. It's so bad. And that's because I had that chicken. That's what I'm saying. I had that chicken in my freezer waiting for me to cook it, but I just didn't have the time or...
Every time you open the freezer and you'll just stare at it and be like, come back, baby.
Straight
Just
up.
come back.
And also because I use a slow cooker, so I leave it in there for 4 hours. So I'm just like, I'm kind of busy. I don't have time to set it in there and have to come back later. You know what I mean? So, and I had been opening a lot, and it gets kind of late. But I mean, I finally got to it.
I guess if you wanna call me fat, dude, just go ahead and do it.
No, Dad, it's not even. You guys are.
He hates Chris Farley. We know that.
Yeah. What the hell?
Hey, he had too many pizzas. Maybe, man. Maybe that's why he died.
Too much Coke.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. I don't know. And I've been hitting the gym a lot. Shout out to Scuba Steve. Steve been showing me some new moves.
Mr. Beautiful.
Yeah, he's been showing me some new moves.
And then taking you to the gym?
And then taking me to the gym. I was going to do that joke. Did you know that I was going to do that joke? Oh, my God. Yeah. So today we were trying to go hit the gym, but he said, nah, I'll show you some other moves, though.
What time did you wake up today?
Work on them glutes.
Today I woke up at, not too early. I mean, I had an alarm for 10, but I woke up like at 9. So
You know what time I got up?
what time?
11:30. You know what time y'all got here? 12:30.
12:30. Hey, man, so look, we can't win now. Now he says, oh, don't be late. But now if we're too early, it's a fucking travesty.
It is. If I say 1 o'clock, just show up at 1 o'clock. It's fine. Don't show up at 2 o'clock.
See, I always had this thing where people would be like, hey, I'm going to be there at 1, but I would show up at 1:15, 1:20, just because of me thinking, like, what if they're late also? So I'm going to be late as well. But lately I've been like, no, I'm a fucking grown-up. If I'm still going to be there at 1, I'm going to be there at 1. It's just little things like that. You see when you're younger, and then you realize, you're like, that's pretty dumb.
Yeah, I got you.
You guys are crazy. So, okay. I was thinking about a conversation I had with a buddy of mine a few years ago. Actually, like 10 years ago. We were talking about people's health, and because he was an EMT, and when he went to school to be an EMT, and now he's like a head nurse at some hospital. And so he was like, we were talking about like being healthy and going from one day to the next. Like, oh, you were perfectly fine one day, and then the next day you're 24 years old and you're having anxiety attacks.
And it never occurred before, right?
No, never.
Oh, see, funny you bring that up because I was actually talking to my girl, and one of her friends was saying that out of nowhere she's barely going to like TSTC, like going to college. She's barely like going like 19, going to 20. She's saying out of nowhere she's feeling anxiety. I'm like, that's weird. Like, cause that's around the time that I also like in college where I was like, I felt just anxiety and like I didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I feel like there's a random switch, you know, around at some point in your early 20s or something.
But we talked about it. We're like, what is it? Like, what makes you? What flips the switch is basically what I was talking about.
Could it be because you mentioned college, and could it be like the switch from like not being a kid anymore, like a kid, to being an adult, having to worry about adult problems like school, work,
thinking of the future,
money,
your future, or yeah.
I mean, it could be that, or it could also be just any little thing that sets you off. I
think it might be. It's just in my character because I suffer from anxiety too, but it's a different type of anxiety. I'm very pessimistic, and so I always set the bar very low. And if we don't hit that bar, or if the worst doesn't happen, then it wasn't that bad. That's the type of way I think about things. And so it also like comes. It's not just anxiety, but like, okay, your heart. And I understand. Oh yeah, no, you've eaten like crap for years, and all of a sudden your heart messes up on you. And then recently I was going on my Amazon account, and I saw that there was a bunch of movies on there, and I saw The Island. I was like, I hadn't seen that movie in a long time. If you didn't know, The Island's a movie that came out in 2005. It stars Ewan McGregor and I think Scarlett Johansson. And so it had me thinking, like, if I could afford it, well, a little bit more about the movie. Sorry, spoilers, but at the end you find out that they're clones of millionaires and billionaires. And so what the synopsis is, like, they are living this awesome life. They're being fed well. They make them exercise. And then the twist happens, and you find out that they're clones for people who are winning this lottery, and they're being selected because the millionaire who had them cloned needs an organ or a part of them in order to survive.
I got you.
So, if you could financially afford it, would you have a clone of yourself?
Well, I mean,
made and then harvest their organs whenever you. What's the word that defect? Like when all of a sudden you were fine one day and then you had a mild heart attack, but you have a clone that has a healthy heart that's been living a.
You need a new kidney or liver or just anything.
So okay, I wanted to ask this. It just popped up to my head. Like, where does anxiety exist? It's in the brain.
I believe so.
Right. I mean, back to how you were explaining your anxiety. Mine is more of a social anxiety type thing, or like certain, like if there's a lot of like it's like my signal receptors on like what I'm perceiving. Like if I'm in a Route 21, like there's so much stuff, product and stuff.
That's a really specific store.
Because there's so much stuff in there, and it's always anytime I go to a Route 21, there's just too much stuff. And like it's like so much stuff happening, and like I can't be there. Like one time I went to the mall out in Brownsville, and I went to a Route 21 with my girl, and I had a panic attack. Like I walked in there and I was like, "There's too much stuff happening here."
So you think you just have like sensory overloads, like you just?
Yeah, I think that's what my deal is. And then social anxiety, if there's a lot of commotion, a sensory overload with a lot of people, a lot of energy, high traffic stuff like that. I get a lot of anxiety. So palms get sweaty.
How does that work with when you do shows though? Like because
that's the thing.
You have a lot of like lights and sounds.
That's a weird thing with me. Like it's a contradiction. Like I'm a creative, right? And I'm on a stage by myself, showing my thoughts and my feelings through like a musical form in front of complete strangers. But I'm comfortable.
That's nerve-wracking for me.
At first, I feel completely nauseous, and I feel like I'm going to throw up. And then after my first song, like once I see people connecting with it, I'm okay. And then after that, I just kill it. And like, you know what I mean? Yeah. At least what people tell me. I'm not trying to be boastful, but people are like, dude, you look awesome. Like, you look natural. Like, how long have you been doing it? I'm like, not that long. They're like, wow, dude, you look good. I'm like, oh, wow. I feel like that's my very first time every single time. But yeah, that's my
So
anxiety.
Going back on topic, do you think you want to like harvest the brain? Is that what?
That's what I was gonna get to. Like, I mean,
could you do it?
Could you do it?
Could you, if you could afford it, have somebody take a drop of your blood. They make, I don't know if that's how it works. So if they take your DNA, they make a clone of you in a lab somewhere.
I mean, at this point, the cloning is long way away from cloning a human. So I'm guessing at this point, like whatever technology they have to clone somebody, you can do brain transplants or whatever the fuck.
Well, okay. Now that I brought up the question, right, like with the whole anxiety thing, and like if I can get a different brain, I also see that like I know it's worse. Anxiety or certain anxieties are worse on certain people. You know, it's crazy with some other people. It's not. It's kind of mild, and I feel like mine might be a little mild, but it's a horrible thing to deal with. Like I just hate knowing that I have it, and like, you know, and I have been taking a prescription pill, which helps me. It does help me focus, and it makes me forget about all the extra stuff out in the world, right? But it makes me also. Yeah. Which is I was about to like I found the answer to my question of like, what if I could make a brain? I guess other than that, I think if I had the money, I would do it, because you never know. I mean, I would be selfish and be that.
So you would
asshole.
kill yourself, your clone, just to harvest an organ.
Yeah. If I ultimately knew that I was the only one, I think
like
I would
your
do
eyes
it.
are going bad and you could replace your
like right
eyes.
now. Yes.
Jesus. I don't think I could.
I think I would start smoking again.
Oh, you.
I think and then just start drinking, hitting it hard with drinking, and then just have a new liver.
What if that clone of Fernie, who's being raised on like grass-fed beef and all that other stuff, like is healthy and like normal looking? Would you transfer
horse?
your brain?
What is he, a horse eating grass?
Would you transfer your brain to that body?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if my brain stays the same, like my personality stays the same, it's just the body that's changing. No big deal. And besides, I wouldn't feel bad if.
What if your clone had a bigger dick than you?
That's perfect, right? You're changing your brain to that clone. Fuck yeah.
No, dude, Chode Crew.
Chode Crew, nah, man. I am not proud of the manhood down there. I need the bigger dick clone.
No, like
the BDC.
The BDC.
Why wouldn't you do it? You feel bad for your clone?
Ethically, I feel like that person deserves.
Is it a person though?
Life. Yeah, it's me.
Well, that's why it's you though. It's a piece of you. So it's not you.
Yeah, it's an extension of you. So you're taking yourself out to
has
make yourself better.
It has life. It has. I don't know. Which has. I don't know. I really feel like I could not do it, even though it would be ideal.
The government does it all the time with our military. Send them out. Kill them off. I don't care.
Yeah, but they're not clones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're less than that.
I mean, people do it.
Damn.
People do it.
I support the troops. I'm just saying that's what the government does.
People do it like to a certain extent, like slavery and all that stuff. I'm not going to touch on that either. But I feel like if it's my clone, it's a part of me. It's my cells. So I wouldn't feel too bad. Besides, they're like living the life in the movie. Like they have like this whole like futuristic facility, and they're having fun and stuff. So for as long as the clone is there, they're gonna be all right. I'm not gonna feel bad. I think I just want to like get it over with.
So I mean, at this point, we're still mortal though, right? In that situation, we would still die at some point.
Well, unless you can transfer like brains, and you could just grow younger bodies.
Okay, so then the whole body too, because the body is an organ. Everything's an organ basically, except for
sure.
So we could just put the brain, the consciousness into.
Yeah.
Or would there be a reset?
On it. No, they're working on it, man. They're seriously working on it. There's I don't know what the company is, but they are working on it. But
uploading the consciousness,
and also making direct clones of your brain, like with the memories in there.
Yeah, and even before that, they're doing they have this thing called CRISPR, where they basically take a DNA sequence and they can add and take away stuff. Like, say that you want a kid with blue hair, you can add the the blonde hair. You can add the blonde hair sequence to the DNA, so they're born with blonde hair, even though you don't have blonde hair.
Holy shit!
Quick tangent. I heard a crazy story. I don't know if it was on a podcast or maybe it was an article that they were talking about. That this billionaire from Saudi Arabia has offered Serena Williams and LeBron James millions and millions and millions of dollars for their sperm and eggs to make a super athlete.
Oh my God! It's
To
Space
make a
Jam.
clone. Dude, imagine how great of an athlete that person would be.
Well, that's the whole Yao Ming's existence. Like China took the tallest man and the tallest woman in China, and I think they were both good at basketball.
No, what?
Yeah, and had them have the baby, and that's how Yao Ming
That's blasphemous. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious.
So,
Shut the-
all right, who's the best? Okay, who's the tallest man in our country? Okay, Robert, come over here.
Zeller.
Who's the tallest woman in our country? Okay, Cynthia, come here. You guys both play basketball, right? That sounds so ridiculous to me.
I mean, China basically has like a dictatorship where the government basically could do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. It's just,
So,
oh my God.
yeah, I mean,
I didn't know that about that.
Look it
about
up.
him.
Look it up. It's true. It's true.
I'm going to look that up
Yao Ming.
Yao
after
Ming.
the podcast.
That is so
His
crazy.
parents were the tallest people in China that were good at basketball.
So they were 5'7".
I mean, Yao Ming's life was basically engineered by the Chinese government.
Holy shit, dude. He should have been in a Space Jam sequel. Because he's generated
I
to
think
be
he
a bas-
mocapped for one of them. Or did they use... I don't think maybe they didn't
I don't
mocap. I don't know. He looks like one of them.
He looks like one of them. Oh my God. That's crazy though. If the whole you can CRISPR, is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's called? That you can pick and choose. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what.
That's happening.
Yeah, and I mean they do that with
You
plants
can even
now
choose
and
the
stuff.
sex of the baby.
Hey, calm down, man. They have to choose. All right. It's 2018, dude. You calm down.
Did you assume my gender?
I would choose horse.
Dare you? What do I look like, a horse?
No. I guess. All right. So I guess I just want to go into it. But my baby, I'd keep all my attributes, everything. Lose the teeth. Lose his baby teeth and lose the baby dick.
Hey, dude, you're still gonna go through puberty, man.
Fuck.
One day, Alex, you'll go through puberty and
So-
you'll lose those baby teeth.
So to answer your question, yeah, I wouldn't care about the clone. I would just harvest it for my needs.
Wow.
Yeah, me too. I would just harvest.
I would order like 3 or 4.
Heartless bastards. It's crazy.
It happens, you know.
And I'd
whatever.
condition that clone too to fucking
Be bold
tough
as fuck.
motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put my brain in him.
Yeah, you could just, man, that would be the greatest workout plan. Like, you don't have to worry about eating fucking salads.
Yeah. I'll just the real me would just be fucking boozing it up, and then when it's time to get into that body, fucking go all on the ends, drugs, everything, psychedelic experiences, and then get into him, and it's like I have a new slate, start it up again, get another body going.
And then get into the clone.
Yeah. Fuck. He'd just be traumatized with all the experiences he's had, and he's a fat piece of shit.
So would you want to live forever?
I don't know. I think I would.
If you could afford it and keep this cloning process going.
I think, I don't know if I'm going to get bored. I doubt it, though. There's a lot of stuff I haven't done. And
Yeah.
if you live forever, it's like, oh, you can do everything, but you can still do.
But also, what I think about is the company beside you, because you could be the last man in line. The way I see it is if I'm alone, I like being alone, but after a while, it's just human nature to have to be around someone, another being, and relate your thoughts and just what you're going through. Because at some point, they're all going to be dying off. There'll be new people, but
You're still hosting the podcast. Hey guys, we have new co-hosts.
Welcome
Rest
to
in
Laugh and
peace to
Death
Fergie.
podcast.
yeah, and it's my clones. They're all just fucking weathered down. I'm just over here, the best one of them all.
Eat.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to live forever.
Because that's essentially what you're trying to. You're prolonging your life by harvesting organs.
I think at some point I just all right, this is the last clean slate. That's good. I'll end it off. It's fine.
And then would you let your surviving clone live a life? Would you give them freedom?
Well, yeah, they would have to do their own thing, but maybe that clone will be like, you know what? Now I'm gonna make you, and they're gonna fucking resist and revolt and make me the fucking sheep.
Clones' lives matter.
Clones' lives matter, dude. CLN. Holy shit. I think that's how
ridiculous.
it works. Because, I mean, at this point, so the singularity thing with the consciousness upload and all that stuff, that's what they're basically trying to do, right? Immortality?
Yes.
With the singularity and all that. That's scary to think about, dude. Straight up, I think.
They want them okay. So evolution I don't know much about evolution, but they're saying like eventually we're gonna merge with machines. Do you foresee that happening? Where
I could see it happening.
they replace your eye with like a cybernetic eye, and it has Wi-Fi and all this other shit, and it also gets like updates. It needs updates and all this.
Yeah, I
stuff.
definitely see that happening. It's happening with like
Prosthetics and stuff.
Like people were becoming half and half. You know, that's just a. But now I think I've seen the most recent thing I've seen was on a TED Talk with like a cybernetic integration into their tendons and their tissue, and like it's working through like electrical synapses. Like that's like synapses is the way messages are sent. Information is sent through your brain into your body to move your arms and stuff, and that's how they're working prosthetics and stuff now, which is fucking insane.
And there's a group of people that do implants for, say, like Wi-Fi or whatever on their Bluetooth or whatever. They implant stuff in their skin, and I don't know how it works or what they do with it, but they're trying to push like the boundary by experimenting on themselves to see what works and what doesn't. And I think one guy had like a compass like built into his like arm, like he can feel the pull of north, so he always knows what north is. I don't know why he needs it.
Oh my god!
Or what?
Just look at the sun, you fucking idiot.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
To feel that, I guess.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how it works exactly, but it was something like that. They just like experiment by like putting stuff in their body and see what it catches on and what's useful and what isn't, and best ways to do it. I think if you really believe into that stuff, you would want to experiment on yourself first than anybody else.
I think it's really cool, you know, meshing those worlds together until it's like, I don't know, I guess what I'm thinking about is like, if we're able to live through that era, like half man, half machine thing, and like the machine takes over. You know what I mean? That's fucking insane. That's some like, who am I? You know, am I man or machine?
Well, so there's this game coming out. It's called Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
If you
I haven't seen what it's about. Or
dude,
like,
okay, so it's about a future. It's a futuristic setting, right? But
In 2077?
correct. And this whole game is based around augments. So you can augment your body, like you're already like part machine, you're part human, and so you can like, as you progress in the game, you can say like, oh, okay, I want to upgrade my eye so that I have sniper vision. So you can aim a gun, any gun with sniper vision, and just like pop head.
and what's this
headshots.
gonna come out on? Because
This is gonna be on all platforms.
oh, dude, that's so
PS4
cool.
and-
I saw my friends talking about it, and I was like, wow. For some reason, I thought it was Fallout.
And so it was like, okay, you can augment your legs so you can jump higher or you can run faster. And it's like, it's all about augments.
Like open world thing or what?
Yeah, open world shooter, like with quests and stuff like that. It's crazy. But that whole augmenting thing that I was talking about, like, it also has to do with like the cloning and merging with like with technology. There was an episode of Black Mirror that I watched. Mm-hmm. It was called The Entire History of You, that kind of like divided me and my wife for a little bit. Because it had like, okay, so the people, technology is like booming, and you can like get a grain. It's like the size of a grain of rice in your head, like behind your ear. And you can tap it, and it's basically recording everything that your eyes see. And you can like rewind and record and all this stuff. So like, she was like, we were having a conversation about like, oh, you didn't say that, or I didn't say that. And she was like, actually, you tap it. And it was like, you did. And like, you could also, it was so integrated with everything that you could like beam it to your TV screen. And you can like show people like what your perspective. And it was crazy because you could see his perspective and you can see her perspective, and then how they conflict or who was right. Or
So basically, all liars are extinct in this.
It's more of an accountability thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, you can't bullshit anymore because everything you're doing is being recorded.
Yeah.
Except you're Trump.
Except if you're Trump.
His shit doesn't get recorded. Or they edit it.
Everything's fake news, dude. Everybody knows that.
Even the videos where he says something, he didn't say it.
That's not even me. That's my clone.
Wait, why were you and your wife divided on that? Or what was
because
did you want that to happen? Like you want?
I was down for it until it was like, because like I have very short term memory, and you all know this because I even right before the podcast I was telling you like, all right, like what's going on today? And then we literally had a meeting, and then like 5 minutes later I'm like, what are we talking about today? That's how things go in my head.
Okay.
And so if me and my wife ever like bicker, I always say my wife. I would be like no, and like call him out, and like I don't know. I just think it'd be stressful in the relationship if you had to like keep going back and forth and be like you were wrong, and
they could just be like, that's it. Now what?
No, I thought like at first we were watching it. It was like, oh, cool. It'd be great, but no, it's a fucking nightmare having to have like everything stored in your head. I don't know. It's just something that came to me.
Every little thing, that would be crazy, because it is at some point a lot of stuff is stored in our head, and it's small fragments of our memories, our past. But
if you think
every single thing,
if you think about it on social media now, you can't use aliases. You have to use your real. Well, you can make aliases, but like on Facebook, on Instagram, like you can go in there and log in, and like you have to not on Instagram, on YouTube, like you have to use your face or you have to use your name on it. Your name is tagged to it.
And even if you don't use your name, you have to use your phone number to make an account. So they have that. Like
I was gonna say that I was gonna bring up social media with this whole thing of like technology, fusing with man, and like because on Snapchat they have the whole location thing.
Sure.
We kind of know where we're at all the time, and like it's GPS tracking us. So it's our phone, but that's gonna integrate into our body, and like we're always gonna be in a known location. I don't know. It's freaking crazy. Imagine a world where like your eyes are augmented, right? And you're walking around, you can bring up like people with similar things, and like lights in the real world. Only you can see them show up, and like, okay, there's a person who's in the same interest as me.
Go talk to them, or you're looking for your mom. Yeah. At the grocery store. It's like, Mom, where'd you go? Oh, there you are.
That would be great.
No more crying.
That'd be great. Did you all ever play Halo ODST?
Yeah.
On the Xbox 360?
Yeah. The night vision?
Yeah, you would see a red outline of like the enemies.
Oh, okay.
And after playing that game, I would have dreams where my people in my dreams would have the red line around them. It was crazy.
Were they also like, they were behind structures, and you can see, you can see their silhouette. I've seen that type of like, that type of gameplay setting.
That was like an augment in their helmet. That was
like in the Division. Did you ever play the Division?
Yes.
They had that type of thing too.
Yeah. Played Division for a while. Yeah,
the Division. Really the part 2's coming out.
I'm excited. We should get on that.
Yeah, we should.
You, me, and awesome. Franky, and Fernie, you gotta get a PS4.
Xbox for life, bro.
He's a PC guy too.
Yeah, Xbox for life.
Personal computer.
Troll Squad.
God, back. But yeah, man, I don't know. The integration of technology.
Totally.
So I wanted to talk about something else. Do you guys have had any like paranormal experiences, like ghosts or aliens for that matter, or anything like that?
Unexplainable.
Yeah, I mean, just because we're going from like technology to like the whole
like it's
paranormal and surreal stuff. Like once I was playing basketball outside my house with one of my neighbors, and we were playing for a while, and we sat on the grass just talking. And we both noticed like this green light in the sky. Like it was already like 10 o'clock at night, so it's pretty late. We saw this green light in the sky. We're like looking at it. We didn't know what it was. And it just kept like moving back and forth. And then it went behind my house. So me and my friend like ran behind my house to see where it was going. And it was gone. And it wasn't like, oh, it could have been a firework or something, because it was moving around like in a circle. And it kind of stopped, and then it went behind my house. So it seemed like it was something with like control over what it was. Like it wasn't just a firework or like a firefly or anything, because it was big. It was in the sky.
Yeah, the way it was moving too.
Yeah,
the movement.
And I've always found like I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in aliens, but I always like that story always comes up when it's like aliens and stuff, just because that's my experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of abduction stories and all that stuff. I don't have any of those, but that's like the one thing I have with like aliens and stuff.
So like my thing with like
what about the phobia of you getting stuff shoved up your butt?
Oh, I'm kind of getting over it. Just I didn't show the time.
We're getting there, people. We're getting there, people. No, I guess my experience with when people like these abductees, right, that they speak about their stories, they always say they end up just waking up in bed and like it's a dream, right? It feels like a dream-like state. And this experience that I had, it's like it was a dreamlike state. And any dream, I've had dreams where you're falling from a high building or something, and just before you hit the ground, wake up, right? It's like that kickstart, like wake up right away before you hit the ground. Well, this one, I was like on some type of platform. I always say, I've told my friends about it too, and I told my dad about it, and he's like, funny enough, I told my dad about it, and he's like, I always have dreams of flying. That he dreams that he's always flying, like weird, right? I'm like, that's weird, but like I told him about this, that I was like on some type of platform. It felt like a boat or something, and I was looking down to the earth. I was in the sky, a platform in the sky, and like I felt a force push me. I don't know what it was, but I just felt something push me off, and I'm free falling all the way to the earth, right? But I'm like hauling ass. Like I could feel the tension of like what it would be like to free fall, and then you would, as I'm approaching the ground, you would think, or like I thought even in the dream that I was gonna wake up before I hit, because I recognized what was happening. You know what I mean? Like I was conscious.
Oh, it's like one of those dreams where you wake up feeling like you're falling, so you just wake up. And
Yeah. But in this dream, I was free falling. I hit the ground and I went through the dirt. I didn't feel any of it.
Yeah.
When I hit, but I didn't wake up, and I was just like, but where I landed, it's happened to me like 3 or 4 times, the same dream, but a different kind of setting of how it looks. But every time I land right by my neighborhood, right by my house. I land in there, and like some grassy, like a flat plain where they have crops right by my house. And then I just get up and I start walking to my house, and then I wake up in my bedroom. Like, I don't know, that's like an abductee would be like, I feel like I was abducted, and like,
just dropped off
I just dropped off by my home, something comfortable, my home, something I recognize. But like, it feels like a dreamlike state, but I'm totally conscious of what's happening, and like, you know what I mean? Like what is that? What do they call that? Where you're conscious in your dream, like you can control kind of what's
lucid dreaming.
Lucid dreaming. It feels like a lucid dream, because I've been in a lucid dream where I can control what's happening, but this one feels like things are happening to me and I can't control it, but I know what's happening. It's not like
that shit would happen to me when I was on Alpha Brain, the focus pills. Like it says like causes lucid dreaming, and I had taken some like prior to coming home, and I got home and I was waiting for my wife to get home, and I told myself, I'm gonna close my eyes for 10 minutes. So I fell asleep, and I woke up in my dream, and I was in my bedroom, and I had to go pick up Barbara, my wife, and so I got in my car, which is my Jeep, which is I've been driving my Jeep forever, and I just started driving, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go this way, but the road was blocked off. There's only 2 ways to where I was trying to get to, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go this other route. So I took a right turn, and then I ended up in like this power plant area where there was like giant cylinders, and it was just like water tanks, and It was so weird because like everywhere that I was looking, like the buildings looked like the size of a water tower, but without the tower. It's just the giant dome at the top. And so I was parked in between all these things, and I started panicking because I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go back the same way I came to get out of here. And so like I reversed and I started driving, and as I was driving, everything started to change. I ended up being like driving through like this area in Elsa. It's like Mario Leal Park. It's like a old park. On one of the sides of Elsa, and I was just freaking out. I'm like, everything looked like because I know the area by heart, and so I'm driving through, and then my entire environment's changing, kind of like in Inception, where it's like, as I'm driving, like things are shifting and like things are like moving. I'm like, I started to panic, so I got out of the car and I was like yelling like, I'm lost, Barbara, I'm lost, and like I was controlling everything. I was there.
Yeah,
it was so.
And then
trippy.
what did you woke up? Or?
I woke up and I called Barbara, and I'm like, I'm lost. I'm freaking out. And she's like, what's wrong with you? And I woke up and I was in the dark in the living room because I had fallen asleep for like 10 minutes.
Oh God!
And I was like, I'm lost. She's like, what's wrong? I'm on my way home, and I'm like, I'm lost. Stay on the phone with me because I'm afraid to fall asleep because I'm panicking. Yeah. I literally legit woke up in a panic.
That's some Freddy Krueger shit.
Dude,
That's scary.
It was crazy.
I mean, you were sleeping, right? Like I said, I don't believe in like a bunch of paranormal stuff, but I do listen to this podcast where they talk about paranormal happenings and stuff. And there's a phenomenon that they call missing 411. It's basically where, say you're hiking. It usually happens with hikers that they're hiking and they see this new path on a hike that, or like a path they've been before, and they see like a extra route, and they're like, oh, I've never seen that before. Let me go check it out. And they go to that, and then they end up in a place similar to where they've been before, but it's like completely different, like the way you were talking about it. And
like a wormhole thing, like a portal to
yeah,
like
kind of like, and they're in there for like hours or sometimes 10 minutes, but when they come back to the real world, they've been gone for way longer or way like shorter time.
Yeah.
Like they lose time, and sometimes there's people like that are hiking with them. They're like, hey, where'd you go? We were looking for you for like 4 hours, and we have a search party and everything going on. They're like, I was just like right around the corner. And they're like, really? Like, we never saw you.
Like, you've been gone. We've been looking for you type.
Yeah. And then they just come back like, oh, I've only been gone for like 10 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's like the whole like Bermuda Triangle, like time going through a time portal wormhole thing, and like you arrive somewhere else, but it feels like you recognize where you've been, but it's like you're lost at the same time. That stuff is weird hard to explain. Like, you can never come off as not crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I don't know if it's like human nature to like make up stories to kind of make sense of your confusion.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just that or things happen like that, but I don't know. Kind of like ghosts. Like they say, like you see spirits or you feel like the cold and whatever. I don't know if it's just your mind like kind of trying to make sense of what you're thinking of. Like it's trying to make you feel better by making you feel cold because you think that you should.
Yeah, because we always want answers to know that this is a real thing, or like, you know what I mean, that it's okay to keep us calm at bay.
Yeah. And like I said, I really don't believe in ghosts, but I do have like one ghost story. I was walking in my neighborhood, and I was walking around like at night, and I see some person like coming towards me, like walking in the street. And usually when I walk by somebody, like I kind of keep my head down, don't want to like interact with somebody, but I'm still trying to like keep an account to see where they are. That way I don't bump into them, or if like something happens, like I know who's around me. But this person, I couldn't look down. I had to like keep looking them in the eye, just for whatever reason. And they were getting closer, and it looked like one of my cousins that had passed away. And I was just looking at him, and I was like, you look like a lot like my cousin, like in my head. And like we'd pass each other and we're looking each other straight in the eye. Like I couldn't look away. I couldn't like say anything. I couldn't move. I could just keep walking and just keep staring at them. And then finally he passed me. I walked like a couple more steps, and then I kind of felt my body like lose its tenseness because I was pretty tense. And I turned back around and the person was gone. Like I don't know what happened there or what was going on.
You weren't dreaming.
No, I wasn't dreaming. Because I specifically remember like asking myself if it was a dream. I went back to my house. Like I ran back to my house. I was talking to my mom. She was like what's going on?
Yeah.
You're acting weird and all this stuff.
Did you get cured?
Yeah, I got branches hit on me.
No, yeah, dude. No, that stuff's real, dude. I'm saying because, so I'm gonna tell you my story, right? Or it didn't happen to me, but I'll tell you two stories of two different incidents that happened with people that I know. My sister and then one my uncle. Well, this is the last time I went to Mexico to visit my family. It's in a city called Gilitla in the state San Luis Potosí, deep in Mexico. And this city is like in the mountains, dude. Like it's in the mountains, bro. Like it's secluded. It's like, you know, you can get there, but it's just secluded mountainside type stuff. Just a lot of a lot of nature, a lot of wildlife, a lot of shrub and stuff like that. Well, this last time I went, I got cured for espanto, but not that I was like, I didn't have any fear of any, or I hadn't gone through an experience like that where that's normally the times you get cured, right? And my mom had asked me, hey, would you want to get cured? You know, there's a curadera that lives near my grandma's house. And I was like, yeah, because I felt like I had fear towards my future in my mind, you know, like thinking about the outcome of whatever with me and my creativity and trying to be, you know, whatever I'm trying to be. But anyway, I was up there and like, I guess the story came up in my head because anytime I go to Mexico, we always talk about scary stories because as kids, they would always tell us all the crazy stuff that would happen over there. Because as kids over there, right now, if you go over there, all the roads are paved with blacktop. You know, it's all nice and paved. But back in the day, when I was a kid, when I would visit over there was caliche roads. You know, just a bunch of rock everywhere and like stuff like that. Unless you got into the city, it was like thrown cement, but
and gravel.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so there's this story. I hope I don't butcher it, but it deals with my uncle, who's the only sibling from my mom's side of the family that lives over there. And a while back, as we were kids, as that he told it to my mom, mom told it to me, that my uncle, one night after coming home from work late, like when you're over there at that time, especially, there's a street light like every other mile or something. You know, it's just darkness. You know, it's complete darkness, and then you hear the ambience of the night, you know, like just the sound of the night, you know what I mean? Especially when you're in a field or something like that.
Yeah, and especially if you said it was all like mountainous.
Yeah, exactly.
Like forest
and like
areas.
large trees and stuff like that. So like he's driving to his home on Caliche Road, and like you've heard tires on Caliche, right? Like especially when you have the windows down, the tires on the Caliche, you know, it's like that. Like you can hear the path you're taking. Well, he's driving down this road, just his headlights on, and he's driving down his mountainside, driving on this road, Caliche Road, and like slowly through the headlights end at some point, you can't see further ahead, right? Okay, so an object starts entering the headlight view, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking closer, and it's like he says he sees like a black figure on a bicycle, and with that already he was like, you can't ride a bike on Caliche.
Yeah,
it's gonna, you know, like. But he's riding up, the bike is getting closer, and he's not hearing noise from it. Like it's not actually there. He's not hearing the actual noise. If a bike were to be on caliche, gravel, you would at least hear, you know, the struggle of it trying to, you know, go through the gravel. He didn't hear anything. Like there was no sound to it. And as it was getting closer to his driver's side window, he said he turned and he looked at it, and this object, it was an all black figure, looks at him, and he, for some reason, he just felt that it was the devil. Like he just felt that he got an omen, and that.
So he just felt like the fear.
The fear, yeah. Like I guess that's what, like, you know, said a mind trying to
make sense of what things.
Trying to generalize something to make sense of it and be okay with it and not go crazy. So I guess in his head,
that was bad. It was something.
Yeah,
bad.
It was something bad. He felt like it was the devil. But like he said, when it drove up to him, he stopped and it stopped, and he was looking at it, but it was like an unexplainable figure. He said what my mind could do was say that it was a black, like a person's body, but it was all black, like picture all his whole body, but even his face, everything just darkness. Like he could look into the darkness. You know what I mean? Like a never ending blackness. And I was like we were kids listening to this, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, this is insane.
Yeah.
And he says the object went away. He turned back. And he said that same night he had to go back to his grandma's house and ask her, I need to get cured right now because I don't know what I'm thinking, and I don't know if it was even real, but like that's one of the experiences that I've been told about that where they've dealt with, and I'm like, this is insane.
So, really trippy story. My father told me this story when I was a little kid, that he had reoccurring dreams that would happen to him every once a year to twice a year, that he would be on a bike riding from my grandmother's house. So my grandmother's lived within 2 blocks of each other. That's how my parents met, like, because they all hung out in the same neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
So he was riding his bike, and he told me that he would be riding his bike from his mom's to my mom's mother's house. And so he'd be going down the street, and all of a sudden you would hear like, and he's riding the bike, and he turns around, and there's this giant white dog with red eyes running after him, like chasing him. And he's pedaling and pedaling and pedaling and pedaling and pedaling. And he looks around, he turns, and the dog's side by side with him, looking at him, smiling. And he's trying to get away from it. Well, my brother has told me that he's had those dreams too. And then I've had those dreams. It happens to me like once or twice a year as well. And I don't know, it's because I know their stories by heart.
Mm-hmm. That it's in your head.
That it's in my head. Or maybe it's been passed down through. I've never talked to my sister about it, which I need to talk to her about, see if she's ever had that.
But find out now.
Well, yeah, I'll find out pretty soon. But yeah, it's so weird how
do you wake up from those dreams?
What do you mean?
Like when you wake up from those dreams, how do you feel?
Is it
it's like, okay, been there, done that. Like it's already happened to me so many times. I'm not scared of it, but I know what's happening beat for beat. And it happens the same way my dad described it and my brother described it.
And have you told them about it?
Yeah, we've had conversations about it, and we freaked out because we're like, oh yeah, no, I've had, my dad's had that dream since he was a little kid, and then my brother told me the same thing.
What were you gonna say?
Super scary.
No, I was gonna ask David if he was scared, but no.
Okay.
I was at first.
I was gonna touch on this which is weird. This is the second experience. Not that it didn't happen to me, and I hope again I don't butcher it because these are stories that are told to me. That's been a while since they've been told to me, but I think it happened to one of my eldest sisters. Not my eldest, but second to oldest sister. It happened to her in Mexico. I think it happened to her. I don't remember who it happened to, man. I hope I don't butcher it. And they witnessed this, and they're like, "You're fucking wrong." Anyway, you bring up this white dog with red eyes. Well, there in Mexico, in that same house, my grandmother's house, they don't have central air, so we keep all the doors open, and we have fans connected to the outlets, right? To the outlet, to the plug and stuff. And like around from like 9 p.m. to around 12 midnight or 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, it's just fucking hot. So we have to have the fans on. But like at 3 a.m., like starting like right at 3 a.m., the breeze comes in and it gets super cold over there, dude. Like it's super high altitude area. It's tropical area in Mexico. And there's this one room where my sister was staying in. And just imagine a room with 2 entrances, right? So there's a bed in the corner of this room. Let me put it like this. This is the room, 1 entrance over here, 1 entrance over here. There's a bed in the corner of this room right here. She blocked up this whole entrance right here in front of her with, like those rectangular square fans, one at the bottom and one stacked on top of it. So the whole doorway was blocked. Nobody could get in and out. And this one just had those fans that like turn, the round fans, oscillating fan, yeah. So it's both entrances are covered. If you get in, you're gonna have to move these fans, right? So I think she's sleeping on that corner bed, and anytime we visit, back in that day, it was like our cousins and everything. So I'm sure another cousin was on this bed over here. But what I remember is that my sister tells me that she's waking up in sweats, and she's like, it's hot, she's waking up because it's hot. And then like as she wakes up, she feels something staring at her from this entrance over here. And she looks towards the entrance, and there's a dog sitting in front of the fans, sitting in front of it, a white dog with red eyes, staring at her. It's so fucking weird that you bring up this white dog with red eyes, dude. Like, this is so fucking weird, And she brings that up, and she says she just feels the fear like looming and growing, and just the fear. So she shuts her eyes, covers herself, and then she puts the blanket back under, beneath her eyes, takes it off and stuff so she can see. Dog is gone. The next morning, she had to tell my grandma, we need to get cured. Because there's something here.
Yeah. Wow.
That is, it's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, and it's even crazier that it's like the same white with red eyes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Because it could be like any other color or any other thing. So that's pretty crazy.
Well, most people dream in black and white. I dream in color most of the time.
Yeah, I dream in color.
Do most people dream in black and white? Or is it just dogs, the way they look at things?
You trying to call me a bitch?
What, it look like a horse?
God, what a horse dreaming. Nah. Yeah, I don't know. All those unexplainable stuff like that, that's crazy
okay,
stuff.
So unexplainable things. All right. Growing up as a child, I was the biggest chicken shit. Ask my sister.
Me too.
I was dubbed
Ask my siblings.
a chicken shit, meaning that it's a valley term. It's whenever you scare easy, and if you scare a chicken, they'll shit themselves. Mm-hmm. And so, growing up, I was terrified of everything, and so I felt like I was always being followed by a shadow everywhere I went. So I'd be sitting there watching TV, and I would see a shadow run by.
Oh, I thought you were just scared of your own shadow.
Oh, that too, because I'm a giant chicken shit. And so I'd be watching TV, or I'd be brushing my teeth. And in the doorway, I would see something run by. And I bring this up because recently I talked to Alexi about an incident at the store. Uh-huh. And she was like, hey, were you in the back? And I'm like, no, I wasn't. She's like, I saw a shadow. And I'm like, it's only you and I here. There's
work?
No shadow. Yeah, at work in the stock room. And so I'm like, I didn't see anything. I've heard other stories that people would say they see little kids in the stock room. I'm like, y'all are full shit. You're trying to scare us. But I don't remember the last time I actually saw a shadow. I don't know if it's because with age, I just stopped giving a shit about it because I used to be super paranoid about everything.
It's kind of like when I was younger, I would get that feeling whenever like I'd turn off the lights in my room, and I'm leaving the room. I'll turn off the light, and I feel like somebody's standing behind me.
That's what I mean.
That's me. I have to have the trail of lights, turn them off as I go. I'm still a piece of fucking chicken shit, scared of the dark. Straight up, ask my girl. I have all the lights on, and as I'm passing them,
and you're like running into your room.
For real, dude. I cannot. Oh, continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's just I don't remember the last time I experienced or when I forgot about the shadows because they used to follow me everywhere. And in broad daylight, in the middle of the night when I'm going to go pee.
Some might call that schizophrenia.
Shut up! Don't say that.
I'm joking. Okay.
I don't know. It just I know it happened to me a while back. I want to say about a month ago. Once this is after talking to Lexi about it. I guess it was stuck in my head where I was walking in my house and I saw a shadow and I was like, bitch. I went after it. I followed it. I'm like, nothing. Turn on all the lights. Like that's right.
Who are you people?
I know a knife's not going to do anything to a shadow, but I always carry a knife in my pocket. Like what good Mexican doesn't? And so I pulled up my knife and I'm walking around the house and I'm like, all right, bitch, like let's fucking do this. Like you're not going to fucking take over my house.
I always have 2 guns.
God damn it.
No, dude. The whole shadow thing, it's happened to me there at the workplace. It's also happened to me last year for the
same for me.
For the holidays when I worked at that other store for the holidays just to get some extra money with Steve, and Steve would tell me about him seeing stuff back there and the associates over there seeing stuff. And it happened to me where the stockroom is so tiny and they have the boxes stacked up, and between the boxes there's aisles like how we would professionally have it at our store. Anyway, there's aisles in there, and one day I'm like, it was like late at night, we were closing, and it was just 2 girls in the front, and they were closing the store and stuff. And I'm back there holding a box and I'm putting stuff away. And like towards the restroom, one of the aisles leads into the restroom. I see like a black shadow figure that moves into the restroom. And I looked over and I'm like, oh my God, please no. I have to be a white person in a scary movie about it. And I have to follow the danger, So I went over there, opened the restroom, turned on the light. All right, I'm good. That happened to me there. But the whole shadow thing has happened to me a lot.
It happens to me at work.
And it still happens to you as adults?
What happened to me like last year at work, I was working on something and I felt like somebody was walking behind me. So I turned around like to my right and I saw something head like this way, like left. And I'm thinking maybe it was the rim of my glasses because they're black, and maybe I caught it like in the glare with like the light hit the
You just don't want to be crazy though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought I was thinking it was like my glasses, but it was moving the opposite direction. If I move this way, my glasses move like towards the right, but the thing was going towards the left. Oh. And I thought maybe it was Rick because we were closing, and I thought maybe he was like trying to scare me because that was when Eddie was trying to scare everybody to get on a Snapchat. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe Rick's trying to scare me. So I head to the back because I knew Rick was there, and he just sit in the computer, write an email. And I was like, hey, man, were you at the front right now? He's like, no, I've been back here, like, doing this paperwork. And I was like, oh.
Paperwork. Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, because I saw some, like, shadow move around. So maybe somebody's in the store. And he went with me to go check the store. Nobody was in there. And, like, it didn't freak me out. I was just, like, surprised by it because I was like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like I said, I don't believe in ghosts too much, but it's just, like, it was just random that happened to me.
Two more times it happened to me there at the store. One time, this is the most recent one. This is not even like 2 weeks old that this happened to me. It wasn't with a shadow though, but you know how we have those bays, right? And they're on wheels, they roll and stuff. Well, I was back there, and the team was on the floor, and I was back there. And I think I was just getting off my lunch, and like sometimes in the first section by the restroom, sometimes you'll have some of the aisles open so you can see onto the other side, the other bays. Well, the aisles were open, and like I'm bending down, like getting something right from the floor. I think I dropped something, and like I see one of the bays move, and I'm like, okay. And I anytime I go to the back door, I always say, is anybody in here? Like in a specific aisle, so I can just open it, right? I saw the thing move, and I said, is anybody in here? And then I look at the bay, and the bay continues to move.
See?
The bay continues to move again, dude. And I'm like, okay. So I just clocked in and I went to the floor. I didn't talk about it. But that was like weird to me. Maybe it was just, I don't know. Sometimes they'll move on their own, but It was creepy.
I shouldn't say it out loud, but I've always
Beetlejuice. No?
Oh, what the fuck? I've always wanted to prank somebody in the morning.
Oh, dude,
like I've always wanted to buy a black onesie.
I have one.
You have one?
Yeah.
The full body, solid black. I've always wanted to go in extra early, like disable the alarm, wait in the fitting room, wait for the opener to show up, and then as they're setting up the front, open the fitting room door and slam it, and then just stand in the corner like a giant, like a black shadow just staring at you, and wait for somebody to freak out, and then I would just walk around the store. I want to scare oh man, I imagine how fucking terrifying that would be.
Or do a crime scene, like stage a crime scene, like have somebody else coming through like Alex and him just laying on the floor with like fake blood around
with
him.
his pants down.
No. That's not a crime scene. That's not a crime scene. That's a fantasy. No. All right. So the last time, I just wanted to say it real quick. The last time that something happened to me, I was closing with Steve, and we were wrapping up the whole thing. I did the email. I did everything. We're in the back in the stock room, and that back exit. Sometimes we forget. We check the door if it's closed or not. But we were walking towards the back because I was checking the floor, make sure everything was fine. I was walking towards the stock room, and we heard like a fuss, like a dog or something, not nails on the ground or something like that, like just a fuss, like a scuffle or something, right in the back. And I'm like, what the hell? We both heard it, and like I look at him, he looks at me, he's like, I heard that. We walk back there, and I'm like, holy shit, man! I'm like, fuck, I haven't checked the door in the back, and I go to the door, and it's open, and I open it, and I'm like, I look through the hallway back there, and I'm like, oh god. I close it, lock it, and Steve, like as I'm locking it, Steve, like, show yourself, he screams, dude. And I'm like, oh, and I got so fucking scared, dude. Just ask him. I got so scared. He looks at me, he starts laughing. Oh, you all right, buddy? I'm like, oh my god. And he's like, no, but for real though, I heard that shit. And he's like, there's nobody in here, but I fucking heard that shit. That shit's so
They didn't
scary.
play with Steve as a child because you can sneeze and he gets scared.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I have thick skin.
It's gonna be like that video on the main page on Instagram where it's like, hello demons, it's me, your boy.
Your boy. Yeah.
Show yourself, demons.
Yeah,
It's
like
me,
somebody getting
your
a
boy.
snack in the middle of the night or something, and you hear something in the living room. What's up, demons? It's your boy, right? Some shit like that. Oh, that shit's fucking funny.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the last thing that happened to me and it was with Steve too, and I don't know. That's all that inexplainable stuff. It's creepy. I don't know, man. Our mind wants to make sense of it, but you never know.
Yeah, that you never know.
You never know, man. The powers that be, something more powerful than us. Yeah, I guess after that whole venture with the darkness and the dark side of
Darkness.
Brother Darkness, all that stuff. I guess I wanted to go into something else before we ended up here. It happened recently, and it was sad. It's sad that it happened, and I saw the footage, and I felt really bad. Actually, Fernie showed it to me, but I felt really bad for what happened. But there was an EA Madden competition that was like e-gaming, esports thing that happened in Jacksonville,
In Florida,
correct? In Jacksonville, Florida, and there was one victim from this shooting that happened at this competition. It was a Madden gaming competition in Jacksonville, Florida, and there was one victim. Sorry to that victim and the family of the victim that happened to, but I just wanted to talk about.
Killed?
Yes, he was killed. Yes, there was one victim. There was two victims, but
the one that they showed on the video was I think his name is Eli Clayton, True Boy.
True Boy gamer tag.
The video shows him playing, and it cuts right before he gets shot. It was a shooting, and you hear the gunshots in the video just going off, and luckily they didn't show the video like him getting shot.
Yeah.
But it's pretty sad that we're still dealing with shootings and stuff, especially when it's an event like a Madden tournament, like video games. Like you don't expect something to happen in that setting.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't expect it in. I'm sure when it happened in a school shooting, you didn't expect it to happen in a school, but you know,
and the churches.
It's the thing is like now you can't feel
safe anywhere.
Safe. I feel like you can't really feel safe, but like My condolences to that family of the victim. Well, there was 2 victims. It was the shooter, right? That was.
Well, it was it was Eli Clayton, True Boy, and then it was Taylor. I forget his last name. I'm
Katz?
sorry. No, that's the shooter,
Okay.
and I don't want to mention his name because he doesn't deserve that. But it was 2 guys, Taylor and Eli. They're both professional gamers. They don't know. They're just doing their job, you know. Like they're at this tournament. They're having fun. They're playing.
What they enjoyed.
Like they're living their life, and then this one person just for whatever reason, they don't have a motive yet, but they have kind of a rough
Background of him, of what he was actually.
Yeah.
Well, I read that he had lost the tournament. Like he had lost earlier that day,
And that another gamer had said that was maybe a reason, right?
Yeah, it could have contributed to it, but they don't know for sure yet.
Yeah. But they also said that he 2 months prior that he purchased a gun, 2 guns legally, and they're also bringing up information about the shooter that he was taking antidepressants
and antipsychotics
that help with schizophrenia, but I don't know who it was that said that. Was it his family or the cops that said that he didn't show any signs of schizophrenia? That
it was his father.
Yeah, that he didn't show any signs of schizophrenia, that he was fine, but yet he's taking these, these medicines for it.
Yeah.
I guess what I want to talk about is like, well, first, what do you guys think about that? Okay, there's no safe way to go through this. I guess what I'm talking about is like, so what I see, the first thing that popped into my head was how it's been a while. Like I guess when Grand Theft Auto first came out, or even just games in general with violence, that violence in video games translates towards violence in real life, in the real world and stuff. And I guess when I saw this, my first thought was like, okay, how is the media going to say that? Or like, what is the media going to do? Or I want to see what they're going to talk about. Like maybe it's a perfect way for them to like ban the e-sports, e-game culture, or just not make it so popular, because e-gaming is really, it's growing.
Off, yeah.
It's taking off. It's so crazy. So I wonder what this is going to do, is what I was trying to say. I mean, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think is going to happen?
I mean, there's going to be a negative light and negative press coming out of this, no matter what, because of it being a shooting, and then it involving video games with previous incidences in the past where they're like, oh, this kid he played a World War II shooter online for 30 hours a week or whatever, and he shot up no, that's just something else that comes out of like what that person was, or how he, I don't know.
Yeah, like the video game didn't make him.
It did not make him.
He was attracted to that because maybe that's what he felt like or thought like in his head.
Yes, and so I don't know. It's I don't want it to like taint the gaming community, even though it's tainted because a lot of people. It's all about talking shit online.
Yeah, it's competitive. It's a
competitive
thing.
But I really don't know, because when the details came out that he was on antipsychotics and that he was on antidepressants, like something should have restricted him from being able to buy guns.
Correct. I agree with that.
And I mean, shout out to California. I read last week that they're trying to pass a law that if you have a felony or anything having to do with violence, or even if you are on a prescribed medication
like
for
mental instability,
or like antidepressants or antipsychotics, like you are automatically banned from buying guns. And I am totally for it.
I'm totally for it as well. I agree with that.
Like before you guys think like, oh, we're the liberals and they want guns taken away, it's like, no, I want you to have a gun.
Yeah.
If you have training for it, and if you've gone through a background check and they check and they see that you're all right, that's fine with me. Like, you have how many guns you want, because you're less of a risk if you go through training and if you go through a background check and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But they only checked. They see your criminal record. If you don't have anything on your criminal record, that's something else. But if you're on antipsychotics and antidepressants and you're bipolar,
That's something to look into.
That's something that needs to be added to the vetting as they.
And it's not that there's something wrong with. I mean, there's something. Not there's something wrong with you. Like in general, like if you have anxiety, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but you're more of a risk if something happens that sets you off.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna go back to. That's an example of like the video game didn't create this violent person. You know, this not that this person's violent, but there's something in the way this person thinks that just because that the competitiveness of a video game and him losing and having the raw end of that ordeal could have triggered him to continue or get even more explosive or angry with inside himself and with the people around him, which could have caused something like that to happen. You know?
And before we go any further, I kind of want to say the names of the victims was Tyler Robinson and Elijah Clayton. I think it's important that we remember those names and not so much of the shooter because he doesn't deserve like the airtime.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to commend EA, the developer of Madden games. They came out that they're donating $1 million to help fund like the victims, like people with their medical bills and stuff like that. And they're also putting a community live stream together to kind of not let something like this kind of like take away from the whole community aspect of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch a lot of esports, and I was watching League of Legends playoffs, and they brought it up because it was that weekend, and they brought it up, and people from other games and other esports, they all reached out to the people that were hurt and asked them what they can do. Like everybody's coming together, and it sucks that things like this have to happen to show that side of people. And if you, I don't know what to say. Like it's frustrating because nothing changes. Like it's always going to be a problem, especially more now where people think they can solve anything with just a gun.
Yeah.
And I feel like we should make our voices heard and say like, hey, this is not acceptable.
Yeah. And
if you're a politician and we're gonna vote you out, like the kids from Parkland, they after that happened to them, they mobilized and they're making people be accountable to their actions, and especially politicians. They're voting. They're trying to get people to vote against politicians that have taken money from the NRA or things like this. And
don't get us wrong. We're not trying to say we want to take your guns away.
Correct.
And we feel that you should get your guns taken away from you. We're just saying there needs to be more to getting to the background check and to getting people vetted through the whole system. Like I have firearms. Like I'm also not a very nonviolent person. I'm non-confrontational. I've played video games since I was 5 years old. Like I feel like I'm a normal person. What is it? A model citizen. I open the door for old ladies. I'm a well-rounded person. But if it means that it's going to take me, a normal, well-rounded person, an extra 24 to 48 hours to get a firearm, I'm cool with that. If it's going to save somebody's life down the line. Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. I'm not saying we want to take your guns or there's going to be a ban or anything. No.
No, yeah. I was going to touch back on that of like the whole, with California and trying to pass an act like that. You know, the background check on whether you have a felony or previous felony or something of that matter. Yeah, it's not going to completely stop the violence with guns or with anything at all. It doesn't have to be a gun, but like it can dim the focus on, because there's illegal sales of firearms. You know what I mean? Like they're still going to happen in that sense, but just like this incident, he legally bought 2 guns. You know, and I mean, we don't know the guy, but from what the media is saying is that he had some type of mental instability or something.
Your medical record should be in the background check.
Yeah, exactly.
But all Mexicans are going to get through because nobody goes to the doctor.
Oh my God. We all go to Mexico. No, yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that, with that act that California is trying to pass through. And
I'm all for it.
Yeah, anything to try to help, you know, any future cases where something like that were to go down. Because that's just a horrible thing. I mean,
Do y'all have anything else
Innocent
to add to
lives.
this?
No, I just say remember the people that have been affected.
Yeah.
And
the ones injured as well. I think there was 14 injured, 12
Yeah.
injured. Condolences to those people as well, to the 2 victims and the ones injured in that horrible situation. But yeah, I guess I just want to touch down on that because it was in my thoughts since you had shown me that video. It was in my thoughts, and I wanted to speak about it.
yeah, and we're recording this in August 30th. So if it comes out later, more information can probably come out since we're talking about it, and you'll probably listen to it another time. But
Yeah, just know it's pertaining towards that subject. I mean, when was it that it
last weekend.
last weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy. All right. Well, I have a palate cleanser for y'all before we go. So I saw on Snapchat that millennials like booty, prefer booty over boobies.
Is that why?
Is that true?
Is that why Hooters is going out of business now?
Yeah, because they want to. Because
So where do they get
millennials
from?
want to have intellectual conversations with beautiful women. They don't want to look at them as.
No, that
pieces
was
of
just
meat.
that one piece of shit guy that's like, I just want to talk to women. It's like, no, dude, you just need a fucking girlfriend. He wrote a whole article on why Hooters is going out of business is because guys don't want a piece of eye candy to look at. They want to engage with the server and stuff like that. It's like
you don't go to Hooters for that.
no, and you don't go to any other restaurant for that either.
Yeah.
Like you don't go to Applebee's or Chili's or whatever and have somebody sit with you and be like, "So how's your day going?"
Yeah. If anything, I'm like, just bring the food. I'm fat. I'm hungry. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak to you.
And I would go for Hooters for the wings, of course.
Yeah.
But talking about if they prefer butts over boobs.
I'm asking you all because y'all are millennials.
I mean, aren't you a millennial also?
By a year, but I feel like
millennial.
No, not at all.
We're the greatest generation, dude.
Well, yeah, I feel like I like butts better than boobs. Just you can.
Well, I don't think that was the question though.
They're saying it's millennials liking booty.
No, but
over,
like, booty over boobs. That's what it is.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I like them equally, man. I like the front butt. I like the back butt.
Oh my god.
see, but you still call it a butt, so you're more of a butt guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I love the booty, dog. You gotta have. I even eat bootios for breakfast.
Bootios.
That's so.
Do you like groceries?
Do you eat the booty like groceries?
Yeah, if it's on special.
Jesus. man.
What I look like a horse?
What's your standpoint?
I want to ask you all. Y'all.
Well, I want to know
millennials.
your opinion.
Actually, you know what, guys? I respect women. I don't know about you guys. I respect them.
Yeah.
I like their brains.
That's my answer.
I like the
Thank you,
triple
Fern.
B, dog.
What's triple B?
Booty. Okay. Brains. I love women.
Yes, I love brains. I love.
Respect women.
We respect
2018.
women here on Laugh and Death podcast. And that would do it for our episode. Thank you guys for watching. Again, you can check us out on youtube.com/Laugh and Death, Twitter Laugh and Death, Instagram Laugh and Death podcast. Those are your hosts, Alex
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.
and David.
Double
Goodbye.
tap. See ya.
Peace out.
Peace.
What I look like a horse?
Are you a horse? Conk.
You can't.
So, okay, it was brains, boobs, booty, okay? Not in that order. No. But, yeah.
Booty,
Booty,
walking
booty,
everywhere.
Yeah. That's fun.
2 Chainz once said, "All I want for my birthday is
Is
a
a-
big booty hoe."
It's a big booty house.
She got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty.
Got a big booty. Yeah. See ya.